Yo, peace was good. Welcome to another hip hop album review. This is part 76. The album that we'll be reviewing today is Leaders of the New School with their second album, T.I.M.E, or The Inner Mind's Eye, released in 1993. For those who don't know who Leaders of the New School are, it's pretty much Busta Rhymes' old group. Consists of 4 members: Busta Rhymes himself, Dinko D, Milo, and Charlie Brown. Right? They're from Uniondale, New York, which is in Long Island, which is Uniondale is like Nassau County. It's like not too far from like Hempstead and shit like that. For my people that's not from New York that didn't know that. But anyways, they formed back in the early 90s. I think in the 80s or early 90s. And you know, obviously they all went to school together and shit, you know what I mean? And then they formed this group, Leaders of the New School. They put out their first album, Future Without a Past, which I do have in my collection. And 2 years later, they put out this album, alright? Singles off this album, there's only 2 singles off the album, which are Classic Material, fucking dope, and What's Next, alright? There's 17 tracks. This is what the album looks like. Open it up. This is what the actual CD looks like right here. See all 4 of them showing right here. You see Charlie Brown here, Dinko D, Busta Rhymes, and Milo over here chilling. Alright. And as you can see, you open it up, you see all the lyrics and shit like that. So in case you don't understand it, because they do rap very fast, so you know, but not like tongue twist, like not like Twister fast, but like, you know, very fast and shit. Production on the producers on the album are a lot of the beats were done by themselves, like Leaders of the New School themselves. Like Busta Rhymes does a couple of beats, Charlie Brown does a couple of beats. Yeah, let me get back to that. Like I said, Leaders of the New School themselves. Backspin, aka Vibe the Back Chemist. For those who don't know who Vibe the Back Chemist is, he's a producer. I'm assuming he is like, you know, the in-house producer for Flipmode Squad. The reason why I say that is because he was actually featured on Busta Rhymes' first album, The Coming. He did the joint. I think he did Hot Fudge. Yeah, I think he did Hot Fudge or what's that song? No, Ill Vibes. I believe he did Ill Vibe. He did a couple other joints on the album, and he also produced on Rampage's album, Scout's Honor, The Way of Blood. Very dope album, very underrated in my opinion. But getting back to this shit, to the producers, like I said, Charlie Brown of Leaders of the New School, Backspin or Vibe the Chemist, whatever. Milo, Dinko D. Like I said, a lot of the beats they do themselves, so Backspin, Busta Rhymes, Sam Sever, dope producer too. Busta Rhymes himself. Raheem Isom, I don't know who that is. Busta Rhymes. Yeah, that's pretty much it. As far as production, there's not really much to talk about as far as like the songs wise, but little description on the album. This song was a lot more darker, a lot more hardcore compared to the first album, because if you listen to the first album, their first song was a little bit more. They were kind of more innocent, you know what I mean? It's like, you know, they were in high school, you know, this is like, you know, just having fun, you know, it's just them being high school kids, you know, chasing girls, cutting class and shit like that, just being mischievous. Whereas in this shit, they graduated out of high school and, you know, they just up to no good and shit like that. That's what I got out of this album. And yeah, like I said, the beats are a lot more darker, a lot more grimy, a lot more gritty, you know what I mean? But yeah, fucking dope. I fucking love this album, man. You got joints like Classic Material. Definitely check out, there's a Diamond D remix, which I'll post down in the description box. Fucking sick. Um, what's next is a video for that, as well as classic material. Time will tell. That there's also a video for that. I'll post down in the description box. Um, spontaneous 13 MCs deep. Pretty much like it's a posse cut of 13 MCs. Can't remember the order of MCs I rapped over on it. I remember Rampage being one of them though. But yeah, fucking sick ass album, man. Very underrated if you ask me. Yeah, and it's funny because when this album came out, it got in a lot of flack. You know, a lot of people didn't even like the album. Even Dante Ross himself didn't like the album. He thought it was kind of whack in a sense. Maybe he, not whack, but like he kind of felt like it was like the production was kind of suspect. It was kind of iffy in a sense. But I thought this album was fucking dope, man. I mean, I don't know, man. There's just something about it where like I like the fact that artists make their own beats. Like you kind of get a feeling. You get another part of them, you know, that you really don't get from other artists, you know what I mean? Because, like I said in the past, like where there's certain beats that artists get that only the artists themselves can make. Like a producer can't give them a beat for them to rap over, and I don't know. It's just certain things that you know a producer can't give an artist that an artist themselves like can only understand or can relate to. You know what I mean? If that makes sense. But yeah, man, this is a fucking dope album. I highly recommend checking this album out. And during the making of this album, you know, they was going through a lot of problems. You know what I mean? Because like, well, for one, I don't say jealousy, but there was a lot of bitterness in a sense where you know, a lot of people was kind of seeing Busta Rhymes as like the best MC out of the group, which let's be real, he was. But you know the others were dope, but Busta Rhymes definitely was the star of the group, and you know to the point where like people felt like Busta Rhymes was leader of the new school, like that he should have been had his solo career early on. You know what I mean? You know, and there was like tension into the group and stuff like that. Like I said before, to the point where there's a episode on UMTV Raps back in '93 that they actually broke up on air, which to the point like the cameraman was like you see them like talking like you know by themselves and shit like that, and you know Busta was like, yo, can you get the camera out my face please, can you get him we trying to talk here, and from then on that's when they broke up and shit, which was fucking crazy. Back then I could imagine that was like a big statement, which you can understand because you know what I mean. But yeah, a lot of people shitted on this album because of the production and you know just I don't know. I guess people was expecting a future without a past album because you know around '93, '94, there was a lot of groups that started going gangster and shit like that because of the whole West Coast thing. Prime example, like you know, Das Effects with Straight Up Suicide, they kind of went more gangster with it. UMCs with Unleashed, even though like, Unleashed came out in '94, but that album was actually recorded in '93. You know, shit like that. You know, this album as well. You know, just among other things, and a lot of people was kind of seeing that as gimmicks and shit like that. So I guess that's what people got out from this album. But yeah, definitely check this album out, though. This is a very dope album. I like it. To me, it's my favorite album from them. A Future of the Past was a good album, but I don't know this. I don't know. I don't know. I guess I'm a sadistic dude where like I like when niggas is angry and shit like that. You know, it's just to me you get the best out of people when they're angry, when they're more emotional. That's just my opinion. But yeah, very 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 dope. There's also songs that was released, I think in 2010 or 2009 or some shit like that. Whereas it was like leftover songs off this album. It was on some form. I don't remember the name, but which no I do know, but I don't want to put them out like that. But it was like the quality of the songs are not the greatest, but you know is a good thing. Like I don't know, it's just they're dope, but I can see why they left them off the album because they didn't really fit the album. Because when you hear the songs, they're kind of like a little, I don't know, it's weird. It's yeah, this didn't fit the album. It's just the beats were kind of like a little more up tempo in a sense. You know, they don't really fit that one. Like I said, this sounds a lot more darker and stuff like that. But yeah, definitely check out the remix of Class Material, the Diamond D remix, and the remix of Spontaneous, 13 MC's Deep, which the remix I like a lot better, even though the beat kind of sounds a lot. It's like the same beat, but the remix is a lot more deeper. Like it's like a lot more detailed. If that makes sense. I'll post on the description box about that. For that song, the remix is Spontaneous. But yeah, that's it, folks. Hope you guys enjoyed that review. Stay tuned for more reviews, beat videos, all that good shit. Peace.